In 2007, a local charity organized a routine calendar photo shoot. They paired a quiet 20-year-old Lionel Messi with a local infant for a few simple photographs. That baby was Yamal. Today, he holds the record as the youngest goal scorer in the history of the Spanish national team. This animated scatterplot visualizes the statistical weight of that moment. Of the tens of millions of children born in 2007, the specific infant bathed by the world's most recognizable player grew up to play on the exact same pitch. Observers often attribute those photos to magic. Yet at the highest levels of professional sports, an anomaly of this scale is treated as a raw material waiting to be forged. The global media ecosystem devours young talent. For 20 years, scouts and journalists have scanned youth academies for a successor to Messi, tagging teenagers with expectations they cannot meet. By the time these prodigies reach high school, they carry the weight of a generational legacy. The pressure often isolates them long before they have the physical maturity to handle it. While the cameras flash and the headlines multiply, developing the actual physical endurance to survive professional defenders requires thousands of lonely, unseen hours away from the noise. The central mystery of Yamal's rise is how he survived the heavy standards set by his idol to secure his own place in the sport. Elite academies operate as an engineered machine, systematically manufacturing world-class athletes. Long before the stadium lights turn on, a player spends their childhood on empty pitches at dawn. The routine is entirely unglamorous. Thousands of hours are spent on exact, synchronized movements. Muscle memory is forged through relentless physical and mental repetition. What is later described as destiny is the compounding mathematical result of extreme effort. Yamal survived a selection process designed to break 99% of the children who enter it. When Yamal stepped onto the senior stage, he faced the roaring adulation of international crowds. This diagram breaks down spatial inheritance, mapping the pitch into shifting tactical zones. A generation internalized Messi's exact mapping and optimal dribbling routes. Imitation extends to biomechanics, absorbing precise angles of momentum and center of gravity drops. These young players have adopted an evolved tactical language, rather than just copying a move. Trophies decorate a career, but a legend's permanent legacy is the specific geometry and decision-making patterns they transmit to the youth who study them. Yet, mastering the tactics leaves one final hurdle. A carbon copy never leads a team. Messi reached the ultimate peak of global competition, completing the narrative arc of his career. To follow that, Yamal had to step out of the shadow to carve his own space for his national team. Success for him relies on establishing himself as the first Lamine Yamal, rather than being the next version of anyone else. True sporting succession requires breaking the mold of your predecessor, rather than trying to fit inside it. As the pressure of the 2026 World Cup approaches, the stakes for international football reset. A young player stands alone at the edge of the pitch, staring upward into the blinding stadium lights. The young man on the grass and the infant in the water are connected by thousands of unseen hours of labor. The 2007 photograph documents the exact moment a generational standard was physically handed down. Legends exist to establish the absolute ceiling of what a human being can accomplish. The subsequent generation watches that achievement and uses that exact ceiling as their new foundational floor. Destiny is an outcome inspired by those who came before. The next chapter of football belongs to the athletes, who treat a legend's ceiling as their new starting point.